Hello and welcome to my video, lesson 6.4 on modeling data. So here we're looking at how to write things into your calculator in order to actually see what they would look like as an exponential equation. So what we're first going to have to do is turn on our stat plot. So if you don't have that on already, just go to second function and then right over here where it says stat plot, enter, make that on, and then go back to stat. So I press the stat button, then edit, so I press enter, and now we're going to fill in the data from our table. So I'm going to look at the first one here. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. So our first one has 1, enter, 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter. And we have 14, enter, 28, enter, 56, enter, 112, enter, 224, enter. So here's our first set of data, and just like normal in the last unit, press zoom 9. It zooms to the stat position, so it lets you see all of those data points. Okay, and just like in the last unit when we're doing regression analysis, before we did linear, or we did quadratic, or we did cubic. Okay, now we're doing exponential. So if we click stat, go over to calc, then go down to the 0 position, it's exponential regression, so we press enter. Then we can go down to where we want to store it, variables or vars, y variables, and we're going to store it in the y1 position. That way when we press enter and calculate, it's going to be stored in the y1 equals position. So here we're given a very nice, easy equation, or exponential equation. So a times 2 to the x. And just the 2 is going to the x. So this is our exponential function. And if we graph that, that's how it will look. All right, pretty straightforward. Try out the second one. Pause the video at this time, try it out, and see if you get the same answer that I do. All right, now I'm going to start entering my data. So 3, enter, 10, enter, 26, enter, 78, enter, 250, enter. And I purposely made this not exactly straightforward. So here it was pretty straightforward because you just, times by 2, times by 2, times by 2, and we could do this by hand based off the last question, or the first topic. So that tells us that this is a times by 2, right? And if you go back to the 0 position, so if you just divide by 2 here, we get 7, and that tells us this. But this is not as straightforward, right? This is times by 3.3, and then this is times by 2.6, and then this is times by, whatever. It's not exactly perfect. So this is why we're going to need our stat and regression analysis. So here it is, graphing that. We're going to have a very similar kind of graph. Zoom 9, we can see it there. Now if we click stat, calc, and then go to the 0 position, or exponential regression, and then go back down to store, y values, y variables, y1, calculate, enter. Now it gives us the values of a and b. So a is 1.0, we'll round it to 4, times by 2.97 to the x. All right, So we're close to being able to do that on our own, but not quite. So the calculator helps us out. And it makes sense that the value that it gives is kind of in between these two. So you could double check that the multiplier here is roughly the same. And it should be like an average of all of these other ones, right? The average of all these multipliers. All right, I hope this video helps you understand modeling exponential equations and modeling the data a little bit better. Good luck.